Welcome back to the Hoodni's Fantasy Football Podcast. On this episode, we're doing the best and worst value ADP picks. The season's over. You either won or you lost. Hopefully you won. If you didn't, keep in touch or keep tuned in until next season. We'll give you guys all the info you need to win next year. I got my dogs with me here. MFB.
Back-to-back tight shit. Bye-bye.
And BBTV.
Hey, me and Kimo went back-to-back in either league, so I ain't tripping.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
We all, each of us won at least one of our leagues. Not all of them, but, one's enough.
One's enough. That's
all you need, right? But yeah, in this episode, we're going to go through each round. I have a spreadsheet open if you can see it. You don't have to open up if you don't want to watch, you don't have to, but we have a spreadsheet open here. We're going to go through each of the rounds in a 12-man, which is about the standard league size, and kind of go over best and worst picks of each round, best value, worst value. And hopefully you guys can kind of look back on the draft and realize like, ooh, I should have drafted this player, or good thing I didn't touch that player. Round one is pretty straightforward. The worst value is McCaffrey at the 100%.
Easily.
Didn't play, didn't do anything. So much drama around him the whole season.
You know, there's like a statistic where like the number one pick every single year does not perform as good like the next year, you know? So
yeah, but it's like you had CD, right? Who performed pretty well last year and he performed pretty well this year. He was the number 2 pick, right? So,
yeah.
They may not necessarily be the number 1 pick at the end of the season, like the number 1 draft pick, but you had McCaffrey last season as the number 1 pick and he went crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate. And the thing that makes it even worse is that even if you had Jordan Mason, he also got injured in the season and it was like Garendo. So it's like, even if you had McCaffrey plus Jordan Mason, like it still was not enough. So absolutely worst pick, even if you had the insurance back. You couldn't do anything about it. Best value has to be, technically in this
Best
round,
value, technically, I would say Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause we're looking at on our list, this is Yahoo rankings. It has Derrick Henry at 12.
Mm-hmm.
So he's drafted as RB5 here, but he finished RB2.
Yeah.
Fire.
Which is, a major jump. Of course,
yeah. So huge value there.
Bijan
Definitely
also pretty good. Brees definitely not great. RB finish, right?
Yeah. So some bad picks in this round. I would argue AJ Brown was not a really good pick. He didn't do enough to warrant a first round pick.
Yeah.
In the draft. Like there's other players
missing 3 games was a big deal. He finished at wide receiver 14.
Yeah, that and like the Eagles just didn't need to throw a lot. You know, you had Saquon there, so they were winning without needing to throw. So that's it for the first round. I mean, anything else on any of these guys?
Honestly, low key, Justin Jefferson. Getting him at pick 7, didn't miss a single game, and pretty much scored very good like every single week. Like, I don't know. I know it's like he's in the middle, but
yeah, I mean, definitely, right? But looking at like, let's say Chase and Jefferson, they got taken at wide receiver 3/4, and they finished at 1/2 respectively.
Yeah.
So you got him at a good like 2 spot discount, I'd say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill also a very bad value. He was going at the 4th pick. So I mean, just he did enough. I think if you had him in the finals, he did enough to hopefully get you your win. He had I think like 21 in full PPR.
Top 7. Not even top 7. I called it. Little voice crack.
Yeah, I mean, you did. You did call that.
Yeah, he finished at wide receiver 20, bro. So
crazy take, bruh.
Crazy take.
Yeah, you couldn't really see that coming with everything that happened with Tua, but
I did.
I mean, BBTB was. Stay tuned for next year's hot takes from BBTB. Let's move on to round 2. Let's get this moving. Obvious pick here for round 2. I don't know how Saquon was going round 2, but he was. That's the best value for sure.
Could you zoom in a tiny bit?
Yeah, let's zoom in just slightly. Hold on.
Just block the right half.
I don't really feel like it.
Okay.
Here.
All right.
How about
Yeah,
this?
cool. Perfect.
Chilling.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon or even Gibbs, but Saquon, I mean, like, it goes
Barkley
without
number 1
saying,
for sure.
right? I mean, Saquon finished with a 338.8. Number 2 finished 297. So he gapped the number 2 by like
40.
almost 40 points. So, it goes without saying, right? Probably a lot of analysts were like, nah, he'll get vultured by Jalen Hurts, which they weren't wrong. He was getting vultured, but people quick to forget how talented Saquon Barkley is as a running back. And they saw him on the New York Giants, but I mean, hey, bro, we're looking at the New York Giants right now, and it's a circus. So, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if you doubted him. Tough for you. If you didn't doubt him and you knew, like, hey, I know he's top athlete in the NFL, paid off for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about. I mean, I think it's obvious Saquon for this one. I don't know if there's anyone else in this list that I would consider like very high value draft pick. Like Gibbs is good, but he's like
finished as the RB3.
He did.
Right, but he had a lot of Monty taking touches from him, and it really hurt his value. Honestly, if there was no Monty there, his value would have been insane.
It hurts his like potential ceiling.
Right.
I would say that. But like he's in the situation that he's in. And we know he's with Monty. And we knew he was with Monty last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But still to finish RB3, getting, every other drive type of work.
Yeah.
Very impressive. He's also a very, very talented running back.
You also could say Kyron Williams too. Kyron was low-key a dog.
He started off really good. Yeah. RB6 finish. So that was pretty solid too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the worst value in this round. Probably Marvin Harrison.
Highlight him.
Highlight?
Man,
homie.
Bro,
yeah,
so
Marvin Harrison drafted as like, what is this? The wide receiver within the top 10 wide receiver, right?
I mean,
and he finished as wide receiver 32.
Crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Below Jacoby Myers.
Oh, that's horrible.
Crazy.
Man. Yeah, we talked about in the preseason, no rookie wide receiver has been drafted this high in in drafts, like fantasy drafts. So it didn't make sense. It was like he had some big shoes to fill. And they also had, they have, what's his name? McBride, the tight end, who was taking targets too. And they just, the play calling there was just not good, bro.
Well, personally, it's like you using your round 2 pick on a player that has never touched the NFL football field, bro. Like, it's kind of rough. Like, you really don't know how that person's going to transition, I think it's easier to do that when they're like a running back and they're just going to get huge volume. We saw people do that with Bijan last year, right? And like Brees when he came into the league, right? But that's kind of different because if there is no running back and they draft a running back, he's going to get all the work. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's not sharing with anyone. So it's different versus a receiver. So now we know if you see a receiver going this high, this early in the draft, like it's risky, man. Like the value is not there. So it's definitely not worth it.
Number 2 would probably have to be Travis Etienne.
I put Pacheco in there because of injury.
There. Pacheco is definitely because of injury.
Yeah.
He missed 9 weeks, bro.
Yeah, it's huge, man. That's like more than half your fantasy season.
Exactly.
And he came back,
including the bye.
Yeah, he came back and was also not good. Like with Kareem Hunt was taking a lot of touches
at the time.
Yeah.
So definitely a big letdown. I think he finished as the RB61.
Man,
ETN a little bit better. Finishes RB39, but still definitely a bum who chemo dropped in week 4.
I did in one of my league. No, it was week 6. I think when he got negative 0.1 fantasy points for me that week, I dropped him and I never looked back. And I'm glad. PPR league. I was like, nah, I'm good. Bro, you got me negative points? I was like, nah, I can't. Man, I kind of want to talk about some of these other guys, but I don't want to take up too much time.
Highlight Ayuk here, right?
The injury, and he started off
injury
terrible too. He was not good. I think with time he might have had his weeks, but definitely did not live up to expectations.
Only robbed the Niners organization, bro. Man was holding off from practice, all that kind of stuff. And that homie barely
Went, did bad, and then got injured and was like, oh, sorry. So
let me just keep my $30 million a year.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'll say real quick, Drake London and Evans probably the best like value / at value, right?
Yeah.
London finished wide receiver 9, Evans finished wide receiver 11 with missing 3 games. So
How about Puka? Even though he missed
he was
games.
hurt like
Puka
5
did
games.
miss a lot of games too. He finished wide receiver 23.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's because of missed
He
games.
missed
But
5
yeah,
weeks.
yeah. Let's move on to the next round. There's a lot of guys. We could talk about these guys all day, but let's go to round 3 here. This year's round 3.
Round 3. This is where you either found gold or you found dust, bro.
I found gold, brother.
Hey, bro. I mean, what would you say is? I mean, the top value is probably Devon Achane
No,
before injury.
I'd probably say Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
You could say Josh Allen. I mean, he finished QB2, right? So that's amazing, right? First QB off the board, finished QB2. I guess technically, like, if you want to get technical, it's like a miss by 1 spot, but you're happy if you got Josh Allen, right?
Hell yeah.
Devon Achane, the RB7.
And that was
Amazing
with like
value
5
here.
weeks of like nothing, or like 7 weeks, or how many weeks is it? 5, 6 weeks? Yeah. It was, he did like what? He had like no double-digit games for like 5 straight weeks. Like,
Yeah.
It was,
definitely probably the biggest hit here, or an even bigger hit. Sorry, I just saw Josh Jacobs finished RB5 of the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So
That's huge.
really big here. I'd probably highlight Waddle as the biggest miss, the worst value
yeah.
for this round.
Travis Kelce
Go
Finished
Olave.
49.
Oh, Olave at the top.
Brother,
Yeah.
Olave at the
Oh,
top.
Olave.
He's
Oh,
your
yeah, sorry.
25th pick. Like
Bro, what about Debo?
that. But he's not as worse as Olave though.
Olave is for sure like
That
the
worst.
absolute worst.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Brother, that was my player to fade. I can't believe I called that. Crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
Um,
So yeah, I'd say best value Jacobs, worst value Olave.
Okay. Let's lock it in.
Probably also you could put Josh Allen. I don't know if I
low key, I mean, worst value for tight ends too. Like, remember, like in the beginning of the season, man, fade the tight end.
Yeah, the tight ends was all over it. We'll probably get to it in later rounds.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think these guys finished like 6 and 7, with Laporta being 7, Travis Kelce being tight end 6.
Yeah. In terms of like value in the draft, yeah, they're not good value to take tight ends here. Travis Kelce
Yeah, you
and
definitely missed.
Laporta.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not good. If you could have had Josh Jacobs and you took Laporta, that probably doesn't feel good. Let's move on to round 4. Rename these. Oops. Sorry. This is round 5 down here.
Round 4, bro, you could probably just highlight off the rip Lamar Jackson.
Oh, value? Yeah.
QB1 by a wide margin, bro. He had 411 points. Josh Allen at 2 had 385.
Wow. That's like 25 points.
Jackson
26 points,
is, if I'm looking at the sheet, right, he's probably like the 4th QB off, and he finished like that. That's just got to be the best value right there.
The worst value has to be Michael Pittman.
I'd probably go Amari Cooper.
It's between
them
two,
two, bro.
Sure.
But look at where Michael Pittman is the first player in round 4. Like, if you're on the clock, let's say everyone else is gone. Let's say Devonta Smith, Patrick Mahomes are gone, right?
Actually, technically, by points, it's Amari Cooper.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like where you're getting him, like at the end of the round versus the beginning of the round 4, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
because like if I'm round 4 and I have the picks either like 37 through 40, like, and Kenneth Walker, Neighbors Cook is gone, I would have reached for Cooper. I would have been very annoyed. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah.
I would also highlight here as a best pick Malik Neighbors, bro.
Yeah.
You're getting a 4th round guy who finished wide receiver 7.
Yep.
And I mean, it is.
He
good.
missed like 3 games.
3 games. I was just about to say.
Yeah.
He missed 2 games.
It was 2 with the concussion. Okay.
Yeah.
He missed the end of that game against Dallas, and then
Mhm.
2 games after.
But amazing like value
What
pick
about
here.
like I know he was hurt a lot, but Joe Mixon when he finally came back.
He was good value, but you
Joe
should have traded him.
Mixon-
The way he performed in the finals was not worth.
Joe Mixon's like it's definitely decent value here, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
right? Like it's good value. We're not gonna say league winning. He finished RB13, which is solid.
Yeah, and missing like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it was.
You could put A Rich here as a complete bust.
Yep,
Like
100%.
man,
Finished.
I don't even know. Like QB 23. Ugh.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
He's for sure a QB that you completely fade. Like he's going to be going like late round 10 or something next draft.
Yeah,
Like next
he'll
year's
be
draft.
in the backup rounds by this year.
All right, that's it for this round. I mean, James Cook also a good value for
Oh,
what he was doing and stuff.
Patrick Mahomes too. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he was
a
Cook
bust.
RB8 here.
Yeah,
like round 4. Like
Patrick Mahomes was definitely a bad pick here. He
100%.
was going
Finished QB 10, drafted in like the top 5 QBs.
yeah.
Missed a lot.
third QB off the board. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's move on to round 5. Let me just. Oops. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm just changing this to round 6 down here, but this is round 5 right here.
Okay, top value off the
Kamara.
rip. Trey McBride.
Trey McBride. Okay.
Trey McBride.
I was gonna say
Tight end 3 on the year.
Yeah.
You got him at, I don't know, like, I mean, still within the range, but still he did very well.
I will argue
round.
McLaurin low key.
McLaurin's also fire. Wide receiver 6.
Yeah, he was
Wide receiver 6 in round 5
so
is
compared
crazy.
to last round, right? Round 4, you got Neighbors as a wide receiver 7, and round 5, you got McLaurin as a wide receiver 6.
At the end of round 5.
That's
At the
crazy
end of
value.
round 5. So that's even nuttier.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Kamara too. Kamara saved me a bunch of weeks. Being real.
Yeah.
Kamara RB9, 100%. That's top 10 RB. You got him around 5.
Yeah.
This is where you start getting to like, some sleeper league winners type of deal.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think there was a lot of decent picks here that were like good. Like James Conner did very well. Rashee Rice was good before the injury.
James Conner
Montgomery was great.
10. I would also have him up there. Montgomery did great week in, week out.
Yep.
Rashee Rice and Stephon Diggs got hurt. So very tough picks, but they were panning out. Especially Rashee Rice, man.
So I want to say that the least value been CJ Stroud here. Took a QB here.
Oh yeah,
5
Stroud, bro. A QB 18.
Yeah, bro.
What about Tank Dell? Tank Dell was trash too.
He was. Tank
Dell,
this is wide receiver probably 48.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. I mean, they go hand in hand right here. You know what I mean? So they go together.
Pretty much.
But yeah, Tank Dell was definitely a bust. I mean, it was hard to tell because you had Stephon Diggs going there. You have now Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and then you add Stephon Diggs. It's not. It was hard. I was avoiding all 3 of those players, to be honest. I just wasn't sure. I was like, I don't want any uncertainty there. I can't really trust. If one of them outperforms the other, you either get high value with Tank Dell or Stephon Diggs, or you get low value with Nico Collins. Either way, I was avoiding those guys. But yeah, I mean, Zay Flowers had some pretty good weeks. He was a decent value, I would say. He didn't perform as well as you'd want him to, but
better than Mark Andrews, though. Like that.
Mark Andrews started off so
okay. Zay
bad.
Flowers, wide receiver 22.
Yeah.
I think like this is like maybe I lost count, but like probably where he's at accurately.
Yeah.
As far as ADP.
Yeah.
Like
George Pickens
should go round 5.
Yeah. Yeah, George Pickens had some bad weeks here and there.
Yeah. I thought
he had a couple. He had like 3 good games, or like 2 really good games, and then like 4 or 5 like serviceable games. And the rest were just
also injuries plagued him. Missed 3 weeks.
Yeah, so he might have been a lower value wide receiver pick, but
also,
I think
we saw Russ in earlier.
Right over what's his name?
Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's say worst value Tank Dell, CJ Stroud. Best value probably McBride, Kamara, McLaurin.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to round 6. Round 7 down here.
Okay, round 6.
All of
Best value George Kittle, tight end 1.
Yes, agreed.
All I'm saying is that I really believe that Chris Godwin would have finished high if he stayed healthy.
Chris Godwin was a good
100%.
value
Don't
here,
even get
bro.
me started, bro. I had him in leagues. He got hurt, and
I had him in a league,
It-
man, and I made it to the semifinals without him, and I just
that
wasn't enough.
was heartbreaking for me. I was smooth sailing with him on my team in late
Oh, yeah.
rounds, mid rounds.
Yep.
In this,
Some worst value, man. There's a lot of worst value.
Deontay
I'm not
Johnson,
gonna lie.
Don Kincaid.
Let's start looking at
Mostert.
what went right here.
I'd say Smith.
I guess T. Higgins.
Aaron Jones?
Who? T. Higgins,
Aaron
wide
Jones.
receiver 18. That's some good value here. Aaron Jones. Yep.
Aaron Jones,
Very good
bro.
value.
League winner.
Yeah.
I was calling it all
RB15.
season.
RB15.
Yep.
But this was a round where like it was pretty much death, bruh. If you all of these guys didn't do much.
Yeah.
Dak, don't get me started, bro. I pretty much left one of my whole
Really?
leagues.
No, Kincaid.
Um,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of bad value. I mean, Swift was like decent. He started off pretty
Swift,
rough.
RB19.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you're drafting him about where his value is, so it's not
Yeah.
bad, the value,
Yeah.
right? Ridley, same thing. Like you're probably getting him at what he's like his value for what he finished.
Yeah.
Najee had great weeks. You know, he popped off. He's pretty solid. But
Yeah, Najee did a lot better than I expected.
I wouldn't say, I'm not saying like Najee's like great value here or like
Yeah.
not good value. I'd say he's like at value. or
Add
close to
value. Yeah, definitely.
Mostert,
Horrible.
horrible pick.
Terrible.
If you took,
I mean, Miami just wasn't the fantasy powerhouse that we knew it to be.
yeah. I mean,
mean-
if you took Mostert over Swift, you probably did not like that.
I feel like it would have been a little different of an outcome if Tua was still healthy. Like those first 4 or 5 weeks gone.
Maybe, but it seemed like they really were giving Achane the work, and then they were depending. They kind of let the other Jalen Wright, the rookie, come in, and take touches. I mean, I think they ultimately decided he is not that good, and they gave Mostert more touches towards the end of the season. But regardless, Mostert, terrible value here. If you had him on your team, it is just not nearly what you wanted. And there's a lot better RBs that are upcoming, like Swift, and that you could have taken over him.
Definitely.
That about does it for round 6. Let's move on to round 7. At the very top, obviously worst value next to best value. Zamir White, worst value, best value, Jaden Daniels.
The Jaden
Without a
Daniels
doubt.
QB4, baby.
Jaden Daniels,
sir.
without a doubt. Rounds.
Or even Joe Burrow here, man. QB3.
Yeah.
I had that homie fall to me in like round 7 or 8, and I think in our league, and no one wanted him because of it. They thought his hand was gonna come back and start hurting him or something. Joe
So
Burrow.
I'll come back to haunt him. Another terrible value, Kyle Pitts, man. Kyle Pitts, can we officially declare him a complete bust?
He's a bust. It's been 4 years.
Yeah,
brother.
pretty much.
He's a bust. He's a bust.
This is also one of the rounds, bro. Hard to find like any decent value.
I want to say Javonte also was a bust, or like he just didn't do
More of a
enough.
bust.
He had his weeks. He had some good weeks against the Saints. I think he had a good week against the Atlanta Falcons. He had a good week. He just, if you got him here,
I think in this round you highlight Pollard here.
okay,
Because this was one of the backfields, right? Remember pre-draft, there was so many backfields that was like, hey, we don't know who the guy is going to be,
yeah,
right? In the Titans, it actually turned out to be Pollard until later on. Spears was taken over. But Pollard, most of the season, was taking the ball. He finished RB21, which is one spot ahead of Najee.
Wait,
being drafted.
Are you calling Pollard a bust?
no, good value.
Good.
No, I'm saying like you made like if you put your chips on Pollard instead of the other guy. Because I promise by round 8 or 9, we're going to see Tajay Spears.
Yeah, he's really
And
close
like
here.
whoever
I think.
like bet on them is gonna like, oh, you didn't get it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're taking the coin flip on a backfield that you don't know who's taken over yet.
true.
All right.
Hey, you also could say Keenan Allen, dude. Keenan Allen was low-key solid.
Keenan Allen was really good. Yeah, if he panned out eventually.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like round 7, put him at the flex. Pretty
Yeah,
solid.
because Keenan Allen here in round 7 finished one spot below Marvin Harrison.
oh my god, bro,
Exactly.
that's crazy. The thing with Keenan Allen is it was hard to trust him. Like there's weeks where he could have probably won your week, and weeks that he didn't do enough and like you lost that week or it was tough on you.
Mhm.
So
as far
if
as
you
a
draft him,
week basis, yeah, definitely.
if you drafted him as like a
Different game.
flex
Right.
or just a bench spot, good value, and you could have traded him after he popped off. But worst value clear as day. Zamir White, Kyle Pitts.
If you want to compare the two, right, Jaden Reed is better value than Keenan Allen because Jaden Reed finished a wide receiver 25.
Yeah, but that
Okay.
one was trash at the end of the season, man.
Yeah, he was, but just going off the total finishes of points, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious ones here: Jaden Daniels, and Joe Burrow, kind of like the highest value picks here. Everyone else either at value, a little bit above, a little bit below. No one, and then of course for worst value, Zamir White, Kyle Pitts. They're just nah. You could say Christian Kirk too because he got injured, but that's injuries aside. Let's move on to round 8.
I mean, man, this round, I mean, 2 guys stick out to me: Brian Thomas Jr.
100%.
Obviously.
and JSN.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Back to
Brian
back.
Thomas finished wide receiver 4, right? So this this is like definition of like the league winner type of draft pick, right?
Easily.
100%.
Like sleeper,
100%.
right? Big sleeper. JSN also solid. Finished wide receiver 8.
Was not expecting that out of JSN. I'll be
Dude,
hella real with you.
I wasn't. Yeah,
Coming.
I didn't have that confidence in him either. I'm gonna be honest.
Cortland Sutton did solid.
I was about to say, yeah,
he's
Cortland-
like a
Yeah,
good
I'm gonna
value.
highlight Sutton because he had some. I mean,
He
he had.
finished wide receiver 15, bro.
That's
Yeah, man.
fire.
Definitely good value.
There's some good value picks here.
As far as bust, D Hop was on the Titans at the time.
Yeah, He was-
Addison low-key did work.
he was
Yeah.
injured, so he started the season injured. I think,
Addison wide receiver 17, bro.
Yeah,
and he
That's
missed
good value.
and he missed games. Yeah,
In this round, there's definitely some decent value picks where you could have
Yeah.
really hit.
100%.
Back to the RB situation. Yeah, Zach Moss.
Terrible value.
Turned out to not be the guy, right? So later on,
Yeah.
you'll see a Chase Brown draft pick. And if you bet on Zach Moss, you made the wrong side of the bet pretty much.
Yeah.
In the long game,
yeah.
is what I'll say.
Xavier Worthy kind of at value. D Hop, you can decide. Bad.
Leave Matt like kind of
He's-
at value.
He's like
but-
middle. Yeah. I would say Singletary, not good value.
but-
Well, so Singletary, bro, like, okay, this is the guy who I was fading. I didn't take none of, right? And I'll never forget, like, BBTB had him in our league and he was going dumb, Devin Singletary. And then, like, he flips him and I'm like, damn, bro, like, that's like the best move you can make. Cause I don't know. I feel like, I got an MFB philosophy and I feel like I'm never, Kimo, you good over there, bro?
hey, yo.
My mic's muted.
Yeah, it's
So,
okay. I get it.
I had a cough. I drank water.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I feel like I have a saying where it's like, I'm never wrong. I'm just early, right? So I'm like, bro, Devin Singletary, like this fool's like low key a bum. Like I don't want him on my team. And then I see him going off, and I'm like, bro, am I missing something, bro?
And
then he turns into a bum after BBTB trades him to somebody for like Puka Nakua. Okay.
That was a crazy trade.
Hoodni's cousin.
Yeah.
Hoodni's.
Right. Yeah, bro. It's just like so my point is, right? Like you could take some of these guys as long as you trade at the right time. Zach Moss was eating. He was starting. Chase Brown got no touches.
Yes, that is right.
And if you traded
Yeah.
him at the right time, bro, you came up.
Brother, I
100%.
miss. As soon as I saw Zach Moss done for the season, bruh, like, yo, Chase Brown? That's
It wasn't. I mean, we can go back and look at the episode. I remember you were very adamant about Chase
Ooh.
Brown, and when Zach Moss got injured, it wasn't even official that he was going to go on IR. They were just saying he's dealing with some. It was like a neck something strain
No, but
contusion.
it was
something.
saying might be season injury. That's what it said at the time. Might be.
I don't even remember that. I just remember you being like, "Nope, it's Chase Brown season." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "All right," and yeah, you're right. Anyways, let's move on from this round. There's some obviously very high value with JSN, Brian Thomas, Courtland
Wild
Sutton.
value in this round.
Yeah, Jordan Addison, solid value if you kept him, put him in your IR spot. The rest of these guys kind of at value. Yeah, not and then of course Singletary and Zach Moss, bad value. Let's move on to round 9.
This is I don't know why I showed round 8 here, but yeah, okay.
My bad. I messed up the sorry.
Boom. So here we go. Chase Brown right here.
Easily.
Boom.
Right?
Huge value.
Ooh, man, wasn't even like really getting touches early in the season, but still finished RB11.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he popped off, man.
So he
Lad McConkey.
Crazy top value. Lad McConkey, baby.
Lad
Huge
McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
Damn.
Wide receiver 13. Also insane value.
Bro, and I'll be honest, I was hella high on this homie just because he played like a mini Cooper Cup, bruh. If y'all watched him at Georgia, like he played like he just knows where to be, how to run his route. He's not fancy. He don't got that crazy like juke move footwork, that style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he knows how to get the ball. That's where you
I would also highlight best QB value here, Jared Goff. Finished as QB 6, right?
I'll take that.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is like, well, I had him as a backup in one league, and I'm looking at the first 3 weeks, and he's on my bench. It's a 5-bench league, right? So I'm like, yo, I got my bench spot's very valuable.
Yeah.
12 points, 10 points, 15 points. I'm like, all right, bro.
Bum.
Homie's not cutting it. I just took him off. Then he starts going insane.
I'm dumb.
But I didn't need him. Thankfully, I had Jaden Daniels. But insane value pick, right? For Jared Goff. Jameson Williams also, man, this guy
Yeah, I highlighted him.
blew up in the offense at the expense of Sam Laporta, I feel like.
Yeah.
But also, this offense was so good this year, so crazy, and everybody blew up. Jameson Williams really turned it up. So I'm happy for him, bro. Young dude who can ball out.
Yeah.
I was probably gonna
He really fits the offense. Sorry, what were you saying, BBTB?
I was gonna say also David Njoku could be a fire pick. Like if you faded those first 7 tight ends, like, you know, because I think like
I would say he's about at value here because there's tight ends still to come that outplayed him or outdid.
yeah, but
like,
but that's
well,
the
he
eighth
is-
tight
I
end
guess-
off the
yeah.
board though. Like I'm like for
Yeah.
the way he performed. Like
So Njoku was good in the offense. It was just health issues. He missed 5 weeks.
yeah,
And he also like the Browns QB room is a mess, right?
yeah,
I'd also somewhat highlight like Tajay Spears and Gus Edwards here because these were the backfields that like we didn't know who was going to take over, and these two guys did not really take it over.
bus like for sure.
Tyler Spears had some solid games. I would say he's at value
At the end
here.
of the season, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say he's more
But
at
Ballard
value.
had health issues.
He was on waivers on everyone's leagues, bruh, besides the last 2 weeks that he popped off. So I
mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't do Todd.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I remember I had drafted Spears and then eventually dropped him because he wasn't getting work.
Yeah. That's true. That's real. Yeah. You can say that. Yeah, he had some decent games, but yeah, he
You
wasn't.
could say, hey, Christian Watson was a bust too, dude. The biggest boomer bust kind of a player. Like the first half of the season, it was all Reed, Dontavian Wicks, and crap. Then the second half, he'd have these boomer bust kind of weeks.
Yeah,
I would say 100% a bust player for me.
Yeah.
He missed 2 weeks. He had 2 donuts of a week. And he finished
imagine
he finished wide receiver 68.
bro.
This was my wide receiver fade.
Yeah.
Absolute fire fade, brother.
Preseason.
I faded him too.
That's a bust, though, bro. You told me that's not a bust.
I did.
Wide receiver 68.
100%.
I marked him red.
He's in
All
the
right,
red.
cool.
He's a bust. Yeah. He's bad value.
Who I want to talk about and I want to be like, man, I'm sad for, who I really liked was Rashid Shaheed, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he fell down, bro, the Saints just went to shit, bro. Man.
Bro.
Yeah, man. They missed him huge
But
when
he
went
got
down.
injured early,
I missed
but he was doing so well. I don't know what happened to Saints offense, bro. They look
Yeah.
promising.
Sucked also from Marquise Brown. Missed the entire season pretty much. He was supposed to be big in that offense, but wasn't. Yeah. So if you took him, sorry.
Bro, the
Not
first
good.
2 games, bro, the Saints fans thought we was running to the Super Bowl, bro.
The first 2 games, the Saints look great, man. They're killing it.
They looked dope, bro.
And they played the Eagles, 15-12.
Yeah, no, but I was like, yo, Eagles, good defense, all that. We're chilling. And then after that, it just went
Straight downhill. I would say, yeah, worst value picks in this round, in my opinion, are probably Gus Edwards and Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Like Tajay Spears, sure, he had like I mean, he was also a bad pick, but yeah, these 3 were horrible. I mean, sorry. Yeah, Christian Watson, Gus Edwards. Because imagine you took Christian Watson, you could have had Jameson Williams, could have had Lad McConkey, even Rashid Shaheed, like early on in the season.
I think the craziest value here is like Chase Brown, Lad McConkey.
Easily.
Right.
Yeah,
These are what we call like the sleeper league winners.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's move on to round 10. Let me rename that. Whoopsies. And then we'll start off with
list, bro. I just saw Austin Eckler. Homie, a bust.
Austin Eckler, yeah, definitely not great.
Yo, is it
the best value here? I mean, Brock Bowers.
That's it.
That's
I think
it.
we're done with round 10,
right?
bro. Everything else was
Brock
cheap.
Bowers, top value, tight end, 2.
There's no one else
barely.
that's good here.
Shakir might have been decent.
Decent.
He was a decent flex play. Round 10, you're getting him at pick 113, bro.
That's it.
Yeah,
Everyone else
I would say that. Yeah, wide receiver 35, Shakir. Yeah, definitely. Oh, Chuba Hubbard. How could we forget
I
Come on
didn't,
now.
I didn't see him. I swear.
that
Come
dog
on now.
Chuba?
Okay.
RB12, bro.
Yes. Fire.
Man,
Bro,
wild.
we had these
Wild.
homies, bro, saying Jonathan Brooks this, Jonathan Brooks that. Jonathan Brooks.
He got hurt again, bro. I feel bad.
ACL.
He's supposed to be a really good athlete, but
Bro, ACL 2
he
in a
got
row.
hurt.
He-
I think I don't know. People are gonna say they rushed him back. I don't know if they did rush him back. It's a whole thing, bro.
Yeah.
He gets healthy.
Eckler wasn't bad. I'm not going to highlight him. He wasn't a
He
good
just
value
didn't take
pick
over
here.
the backfield.
He was horrible.
No, he had some decent game for round 10, bro.
They
He was a
mixed in
decent-
a lot of RBs,
I
bro.
think
They mixed
Jeremy
in like
McNichol
4
outsniped
RBs.
him. Yeah.
You guys were
I don't know.
watching this Washington, right? They mixed in like Chris Rodriguez, Jeremy McNichol. I thought they were making names up at one point. I'm like, who the
Yeah.
hell are these fools?
Eckler was
You know?
horrible.
I'm saying round 10, this is like your 10th pick of your draft. Like, it's just a bench piece. And he had games where he had like 10 plus, 15 plus fantasy points. So I'm like, I'm not saying he's a good pick. Like, ooh, we're talking about round 10. Obvious ones, Brock Bowers for value, Chuba Hubbard, Khalil Shakir, kinda.
Mhm.
But the rest of these guys definitely didn't perform well. Dobbs, whatever. Like, I guess he's worth where you're taking him round
But it
10.
goes to show you, like, even in this round, like, yeah, it's tough to really, the probability isn't there with you, right? You got 2 out of 12 to get like a top pick.
Yeah.
But you
Lockett.
can't. You have potential.
Boof. Trevor Lawrence, Boof.
Yeah, the rest of them are all boof, bro.
Tua, yeah, injured, I'll put.
All boof.
Palmer,
Boof.
bad. Goddard, whatever, he push. He had some decent weeks. These guys, I mean, Blake Corum was just a handcuff, right? So,
Can we hit one more round? I want to see if there's any
Yeah,
more.
round
more
11.
decent value.
Real quick.
all right.
Any
all right,
more
all right.
decent value? Any more?
Whoops. All right. So the round ends here at 132.
Okay, 2 names
Technically.
popping out to me right now. Jacoby Myers,
Yep.
right?
Great value.
He did cool. Wide receiver, like 31, had some good weeks.
Yeah.
I also kind of want to say Zach Sharp
Yeah, I was just about to say Zach Charbonnet.
because, I mean, I can say in the league that I won, like every week that I started Zach Sharp, aka when Kenneth Walker was out,
Mm-hmm.
because Kenneth Walker is very injury prone. So you can guarantee he's going to miss 3 weeks of the season. I plugged in Zach Sharp and it was like I won every week, guaranteed if I started Zach Sharp.
Yeah.
So that's where he can play, he was solid for you.
Yeah.
Everybody else on the list, man,
Didn't do
Nick
anything.
Chubb didn't pan out like people wanted, I guess. He got hurt again, right?
You're looking at round 11 picks. Zeke bust. We talked about him being a good value at this round. We were like, he's going to come back and do things in Dallas. He had like his first game, he scored a touchdown. And then after that, it was just kind of like me. Nothing.
I could see value in Josh Downs.
Yeah, I was going to say
He
Josh
finished-
Allen solid.
Wide receiver 39.
Yep.
He's a talented guy, but just the offense is all over the place.
Yeah.
Was there any like sleeper picks like 12, 13? I just want to know like sleeper. Like,
in the next rounds,
Let's skim through.
I didn't label these rounds, but we're just going to kind of go through.
That's fine.
Dowdle was dope.
Rico Dowdle this would have been round
14,
12.
13.
Round 12.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because it went 132. This is round 12.
Yeah,
Up
Rico
to
for sure.
144.
He was RB 24.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Dobbins,
Jay
RB
Hurd.
23.
Jay Hurd.
Justin Herbert as your QB. I guess.
Justin Herbert,
value.
yeah, like QB 13 of the year. So definitely pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if we find anybody
Scroll.
else around this.
Scroll.
We're getting deep down.
Look,
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Judy.
Jerry Judy,
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen,
Oh, 13.
Oh my God.
Bucky Irving.
How could I forget? Bucky Irving, bro.
Oh my God,
Bucky season,
Huge.
bro.
that is
Huge.
crazy.
Huge value. This is
Yeah.
you're talking round 13 of the draft, almost the end of the
Yeah.
draft.
Crazy.
Finished RB16, bro.
Yeah.
So if
This
you
is-
somehow drafted this guy or, held on to him for that long or traded for him or picked him up off waivers magically, then
I picked him up off waivers in the league and I
Uh-huh.
gave him to BBTV, traded him.
these kind of RBs,
Jerry Judy.
such generous donations, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Baker Mayfield,
the QB5.
Oh, Baker
right? How could we
Mayfield.
forget?
For sure.
huge value here.
You
I would throw Rashad Bateman. High value, bro. He
towards the
defied
end of the
all odds.
season, though, bruh.
No, he had some weeks where he was doing his thing, bro.
Yeah, but
for this is you're talking literally round like 15, like 14. I mean, in your league,
he
Like, this is
finished
the end.
one spot behind Cooper Kupp, my brother.
Cooper Cup, man.
You could probably throw Darnell Mooney in there as a big sleeper too.
You get that money in.
Oh yeah, he was cool, I guess.
Cool.
But yeah, that about does it. I mean,
Brandon Aubrey.
Okay, bro. I drafted his kicker 2, finished his kicker 2. Good job.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Um,
chilling.
Yeah, that about does it. I mean, this is so if we scroll back up, right, through these
Yeah.
rounds, like the value, like there's not that many value picks later on. Like here, like earlier rounds, like there's a lot of good value picks, right? You feel good about it. And then as you get
I mean,
further and further,
Here's what we can notice, right? Go to like round 1, right? Round 1.
well, this is technically
Yeah,
round
but
one.
you
Yeah.
really mislabeled it. Never mind.
Relax, bro, relax.
Like round 1, there's probably like, let's count the very big misses. C-Mac, Brees,
Yep.
Tyreek, Garrett Wilson,
Jonathan.
right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor for sure.
Those are like the large misses, though. Jonathan Taylor still finished, I think, within the top 15. So you have about 4 misses out of 12, right? But anyways, what I'm about to say is, right, every round you go through, it's going to be more and more and more misses, right?
Yeah.
If you start getting to round 3, 4, 5, you're going to be like, damn, who's even good in this round, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
Yeah. Once you get to like, there's a
starts
lot
getting
more.
murkier.
Yeah, there's a lot more misses. Like once you get to like round 9, round 10, a bunch of misses
for
here.
sure. But I'm saying the most critical rounds of a draft is like rounds 3 to 5, 6.
Easily. That's making
I think
That's the most
it's
critical.
it's huge.
Because if you miss in these rounds, the core of your team is going to be an uphill battle,
easily.
right?
Yeah, I think that it's really hard, and this is kind of why BBTB talks
Like
about
anybody who took Olave, Nico Debo had a tough year getting into playoffs, right? We could agree on that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
I highlighted some of these guys that were busts, but yeah, like ETN. This shouldn't be highlighted, but yeah.
You know,
These guys, yeah, like it's tough because these are players that some of them were highly sought out after people wanted them, like
Right.
Marvin Harrison. People were excited about.
but see, even this
ETN.
round, right? 8 out of 12, you have a good chance of like getting a good safe pick, a solid pick.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, a lot of these were
Yeah.
Cooper Cup, man. If you had him in the playoffs, bro, a donut and then like 5 points and like 4 points or something, he stunk so hard in the playoffs, man. Like you probably lost if you had him. He might have got you the playoffs, but like I almost want to say with his injuries and stuff, just like week 1 went crazy, and then after that, just had some decent games here and there, but yeah, not really worth. But yeah, is there any other players you guys want to go over? Anything you guys want to talk about? You guys want to highlight anything? Anyone?
No, chilling.
Nothing.
Nah, I think
Closing
just
points?
to harp on it again, like we mentioned also in like our very beginning episodes, if you stuck with us this long, shout out to you. But just putting chips in on those 50-50 backfields, bro.
Yeah.
Like whether you put it in on Zach Moss or Chase Brown, you see what the payout could be, right? The
Yeah.
payout could be a league-winning RB for you.
Yeah.
So just putting your chips in like that, taking the risk, could pay out heavily.
Yeah. And we saw like Chase Brown went after Tajay Spears and
Yeah.
after Zach Moss and these other
Exactly,
guys.
right? So I don't know what next year will hold. This was a year where like there was a ton of RB backfields that were very like, totally like different and new. new coaching, and we didn't know what was going on. I think next year things won't change as much.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of already paved out. The draft will probably be a little more straightforward than it was last year.
Yeah.
But in case it does change, keep that in mind.
Yep.
All right, guys. That does it for this episode. Tune into the next one. We're going to go over a draft recap where all three of us were in the same draft. And we're going to talk about our picks, why we picked them, what went through our heads, why did we pick this player, what happened. And hopefully you guys can kind of see like what goes through our heads when we draft and see why we won in some of our leagues and why we all lost in that league.
Yeah.
But anyways, that'll do it for this episode, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
The back-to-back champs. Peace.
Yep.